Hello?
I have your boy. We've got to protect him.
Rip! Rip! They have him. They have Carter.
The explosive finale of Dutton Ranch sets up a brutal war for Season 2. Bula remains trapped in a dark smuggling legacy, while Joaquin faces a breakdown over Rob Will's murder, a crime he didn't commit but will use for power. Driven by the power-blind villain Mariano, this chaos collides with the Duttons after he kidnaps a rebellious Carter, who is facing fatherhood. This mistake triggers a merciless rescue by Beth, who will stop at nothing to protect her family. Let me be straight with you. Dutton Ranch Season 2 is going to be nothing like what you're expecting. And honestly, that's exactly what makes it so good. The Season 1 finale left us with this twisted web of betrayal, murder, and family drama that's so complicated, you have to sit down and really think about what it all means. But here's the thing that matters most right now, Carter, that rebellious kid that Beth and Rip have been trying to figure out. The one they couldn't quite connect with because everything moved too fast and emotions ran too high. He got kidnapped. Mariano actually went there. He actually took him. And that single decision just changed everything about how this story is going to play out in Season 2. Now, to understand why Mariano would do something this reckless, you have to understand who he actually is. He's not just some cartel boss or smuggling operation leader. He's a man who's been broken by life. Think about it. 15 years ago, he lost everything. His wife got killed in Mexico, his son stayed behind with the family, and he was left completely alone with nothing but rage and a vendetta against Bula. For 15 years, he's used the ranch, the cattle smuggling operation, everything as a way to take power back from the world. But power, real power, has a way of making you blind. It makes you think you're untouchable. It makes you think you can do things like kidnap a teenager and still walk away. Mariano got so caught up in controlling the operation, in controlling Bula, in controlling Joaquin, that he forgot one crucial thing. There's a woman at the Dutton Ranch who will literally destroy anyone who threatens her family. The murder of Rob Will is still hanging over everything. We saw Joaquin crying in that car, we saw the body, and everyone's jumping to conclusions. But what if that's exactly what someone wants you to think? What if Joaquin didn't actually pull the trigger? That's a question that's going to haunt everyone in Season 2. Because Mariano ordered it, yes. But did he actually do it? Did his own son go through with it? And if he didn't, then who did? These are the kinds of mysteries that destroy families from the inside out. And Dutton Ranch is about to show us exactly how that destruction plays out. Here's what I think is going to happen in the early episodes of Season 2. Beth and Rip are going to spend every single moment trying to find Carter. They're going to move heaven and earth to bring him back alive and safe. But here's where it gets dark. Mariano doesn't understand that he's messed with someone who is absolutely willing to cross every moral line to protect the people she loves. Beth isn't going to negotiate with him. She's not going to try to work out some deal or compromise. She's going to come for him like a force of nature. And when she does, it's going to be catastrophic. The man thought he was playing chess, but he actually walked into a war he can't possibly win. He took a 17-year-old kid from a woman who would burn down the entire world to get him back, and now he's going to pay the price for underestimating her. This is where the real tragedy of Mariano's character is going to fully come into light. He spent 15 years building an empire out of pain and rage, but in one moment of weakness or desperation, he's going to lose it all. Because vengeance, real vengeance, doesn't come from the cartel bosses or the smugglers or the criminals. It comes from a mother. It comes from Beth Dutton. So here's the question that's going to keep you up at night as we head into these new episodes. How far will Beth actually go to make Mariano suffer for what he's done? And will she even recognize herself by the time she's finished? But here's where things get really complicated, and this is where Season 2 is going to tear this entire family apart piece by piece. Bula is caught in the middle of absolute chaos right now. She's been dealing with Mariano for 15 years. She's been trapped in this smuggling operation, and she's desperately trying to hold on to some semblance of control in a situation where she's never actually had any real power at all. The woman built an entire ranching empire, yes, but underneath all that success and all that wealth, she's still a prisoner. She's still controlled by men who use her, manipulate her, and threaten her every single day. Mariano kidnapping Carter isn't just an attack on the Duttons, it's a direct attack on Bula, and it's the breaking point she never wanted to reach. Think about what Mariano is actually doing when he kidnaps Carter. He's not just taking a hostage. He's proving to Bula that he can reach into her carefully constructed world and destroy it whenever he wants. He's proving that despite everything she's accomplished, despite every deal she's made, despite every compromise she's accepted, she still can't protect the people she cares about. The man doesn't understand that by doing this, he's given Bula something she never had before. He's given her a reason to turn on him completely. For 15 years, she tolerated him. She accepted his presence, his control, his manipulation, because she had to. But now he's crossed a line that even Bula won't forgive. He's threatened the life of a child, and that changes everything about her priorities and her loyalties. Here's where Walken comes into the picture. And this is absolutely crucial to understanding what's about to happen in Season 2. Remember what I said about Rob Will's murder? I genuinely don't believe Walken actually pulled the trigger. I think he confronted his brother. He probably had second thoughts, and then someone else took the opportunity to get rid of Rob Will permanently. Maybe it was Bula. Maybe it was someone we haven't even met yet. But the point is that everyone thinks Walken did it, and Walken is perfectly fine letting them believe that lie. Why? Because that lie gives him power. That lie makes him look dangerous, makes him look willing to do anything for his father, and makes everyone underestimate him at the exact same time. But here's the thing about Walken that Mariano completely missed. The man has a soft spot for Bula, and he always has. Throughout Season 1, Walken kept helping Bula, kept protecting her interests, kept being on her side even when his father was ordering him to do terrible things. That's not coincidence. That's not random. That's a man who has feelings for a woman he shouldn't have feelings for, and those feelings are going to become incredibly important in Season 2. Because when Mariano kidnaps Carter and puts Bula in this impossible situation, Walken is going to see exactly what his father is capable of, and he's going to realize that he's been serving a monster. He's been loyal to a man who uses power to hurt people, who destroys families, who thinks that violence and intimidation are valid solutions to every problem. And Walken, despite all his flaws, despite all the terrible things he's done, is going to decide that he can't keep doing this anymore. He's going to make a choice that will shock everyone. But it won't shock us because we've been watching him drift away from his father's shadow the entire time. When Walken finally turns his back on Mariano and sides with Bula, it's not going to be because he suddenly got a conscience. It's going to be because he realized that the woman he cares about deserves better than this, and the empire his father built isn't worth the cost of losing her. That's powerful stuff. That's the kind of character development that makes a show actually matter, because it's not just about the plot, it's about the internal moral collapse of a man who's been complicit in terrible things finally reaching his breaking point. Mariano created Walken into a weapon, but he never understood that weapons can always be turned against their maker. Now let's talk about what this all means for the Dutton family, because they're the anchor of this whole story. Beth went into Season 2 thinking she was finally going to find peace. She and Rip were supposed to be starting fresh, supposed to be building a life away from all the chaos and violence and family drama that defined the first season. But the universe had other plans. The universe sent them a body on their land, a mysterious murder, and then a teenager who was lost and angry and didn't know how to accept love from two people who were desperately trying to give it to him. And then, just when things were starting to stabilize, just when Beth was starting to break through to Carter, Mariano took him. He literally kidnapped the kid that Beth was starting to see as her son. This is going to destroy her in ways we haven't even seen yet. Here's the critical thing about Beth. She doesn't negotiate. She doesn't compromise. She doesn't try to work within systems or follow rules or do things the legal way. When someone takes something from her, she burns them to the ground. She makes them suffer. She erases them from existence. And Mariano just gave her every single justification she needs to do exactly that. Carter is going to become Beth's entire world for these episodes. Every decision she makes, every move she takes, every breath she breathes is going to be focused on finding that kid and bringing him home. Rip is going to be right there with her, but even Rip is going to be shocked by exactly how far Beth is willing to go. The woman is going to become a force of pure vengeance, and Mariano is going to regret the day he ever learned her name. But here's where it gets even more twisted, and this is where Season 2 is really going to surprise you. Mariano probably kidnapped Carter thinking he could use him as leverage against Beth and Rip. He probably thought he could force them into some kind of negotiation or deal that would take pressure off his smuggling operation. He probably thought he could control the situation like he controls everything else. But what he actually did was give Beth the perfect excuse to do what she's been wanting to do all along: eliminate the threat completely. He gave her a moral justification, a personal motivation, and a deadline. He made it personal in a way that transcends business or territory or power dynamics. This is about a child. This is about family. This is about protection. And when those things are on the line, Beth doesn't just kill the threat, she removes it from history entirely. The rescue mission for Carter is going to be brutal. It's not going to be some Hollywood action sequence where they go in guns blazing and everyone comes out fine. It's going to be messy and violent and complicated, and there's going to be a real chance that things go wrong. There's going to be a real possibility that lives are lost, that alliances crumble, that the cost of saving Carter is almost as high as losing him would have been. But Beth is going to do it anyway, because that's who she is. She's going to walk through fire to save that kid, and everyone who gets in her way is going to burn. Mariano created a situation where he forced a woman with unlimited resources, unlimited rage, and unlimited willingness to use violence to come after him with everything she has. And that's a situation he can't win.